Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey, and filling in the gap. Listen, man, I hope you guys had a great weekend, but you know what I need you to do to start your week off, right? I need you to stay focused. I need you to have that energy to create that momentum to get through the rest of the week. Listen, it's got to happen. It's going to happen. Listen, those are the only two options. It's got to happen and it's going to happen. That's the mindset that you need. I need you to commit to that. Don't forget the commitment. We need you to stay disciplined, right? And we need you to stay consistent with what you're doing. Listen, we are in another week. First quarter still. We are actually this week starting a new month. So I don't know about you, but 2022 is speeding up. All right. So I need you guys to stay on par. No, stay above par. I need you to stay on point. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to get to the place that you said that you wanted to go, to that destination you said you wanted to get to those goals you said you wanted to reach. But I know we often have times where we just have trouble with certain things. And what do we do when it's negative? What do we do when our mindset is negative or our situation just is negative? And so I want you to go through these things in your mind. How can I adjust when negative things? Now, first, of course, just like everything, it starts in the mind. It starts with your mindset. So I want you to think, and you know, they always used to have this saying, glass half full. How can I change my perspective? How can I take this negative energy or negative situation and change the perspective? I've had so many opportunities where I've given up on things because one or two negative things happen. And in my mind, I thought it just wasn't meant to be because, I don't know, for some reason, one negative thing happened, two negative things happened, and three is like, oh, this is really not supposed to happen. Not the fact that you could just be being tested to see how disciplined and how determined and how consistent you would be. It's just like, oh, and I can't wait till I do that part 2 of that. It's just like that one yes. Remember that episode we talked about not too long ago? We talked about having that one yes. All you need, that one yes. Listen, if you're focused and you're determined on that one yes, all the negative things wouldn't even matter. And so I just want to know what you do to pivot. All right. I know that's the new word right now, pivot. But how are you pivoting? How are you changing the mindset? What are you doing? Because what happens with most people and why they struggle is they don't know how to make adjustments. All right. Now, adjustments to certain situations can come from different experiences you have in your life. And I remember I had a friend one time, and they're always asking, well, why you don't have this emotion about it, or why don't you feel this way about it, or why aren't you reacting that way? And I was like, because of the experience, I don't have to be emotional about it. I can just know when this happens, I can make an adjustment. Now, some of the stuff does come from, the IQ and the things of playing a sport. All right. There's so many times where you practice, and when it's time to execute, let's take football, for example. For all my football fans, we're still in football season. You could have a play, but you not necessarily know. Let's take the offense. You may have a play, but you may not necessarily know what the defense may bring you. Now, of course, those that are deep in football and the mindset, that you can do stuff pre-snap. We can figure out what things, if a blitz is coming, what coverage they're playing, or different things like that. But What if how you practice it doesn't happen? Or what they perceive to show you pre-snap doesn't go that way? How do you make the adjustment? If that linebacker blitzes, what is my new route? For the quarterback, what is now my first read now? Those different adjustments. How well do you adjust or pivot during that situation? But through experience sometimes, all right, that gains you the courage and the confidence to when negative things happen, you can adjust well. So what do you do with those negative things? Man, it's crazy because I'm a math teacher, and God tells us we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply, right? So when you're multiplying, right, two negatives, right? Two negatives create a positive, right? You can take two negatives, right, and make an adjustment to make a positive situation in your life. I know some of y'all are saying, man, I hate math. I don't get that. But yeah, those are the rules, right? I can take two negatives to multiply, right, to become a positive. And I want you to kind of marinate and simmer on that, right? Think about how many situations, how many negative thoughts, how many situations where you just allowed the negative thing to stop what you were doing, to halt where you were, to change direction. All right. Instead of making an adjustment. Like I said, first you start off with an adjustment in your mind, in your mindset, to know that some things that come at me at life, all right, what can I learn from it? Or how can I tweak it? Or how can I look at it in this perspective to know that I can make this a great or better situation? And that's what you have to do. That's where you have to stay grounded in, because those are the things that are going to happen. Listen, you can plan, but sometimes you have to go into situations and you have to read the room. All right. There are some times where I have a plan on how I'm going to teach my class. All right. But I have to understand the dynamic of the class. Like I can have a plan, but then what I think, listen, my students are going to catch this real quick. But if I stuck to that mindset and then a student asks me a question and I can't adjust and answer the question, it's going to change the dynamic, not only of that student, but of the classroom. Because, sometimes in a classroom, students don't ask questions because they don't want you to think that they don't know. And that might be the question, the person that did ask the question, it might be the same question that the other student wanted to know. Right? So how do you make that adjustment? And listen, I'm telling you, from a teacher's perspective, and in that environment, listen, sometimes I have 3 classes a day. Sometimes I don't get the adjustment. Sometimes I don't get the teaching right into that 3rd class. It's like, oh man, I thought this was going to go well. This is real simple, but I tried it this way, didn't work that way, tweaked it a little bit for the 2nd class. And then by the time I'm doing the 3rd class, I got it down packed because I made the adjustment and not stuck in the mindset, not that because I'm just the math teacher that it's easier for me or that it should be easy for them to pick it up, but knowing that I have to be okay with making the adjustment and not looking at it as they don't know what they're talking about, or they just slow, or they need to catch up. You see what I'm saying? Hope that makes sense. I'll try to break that down and make that live for you. But what are you doing in your life to take those negative moments and changing the mindset? What adjustments are you making? How are you creating the positive that you need in your life? I can count so many times and so many years and a couple of decades of my life where I just accepted negativity, where it was an expectation, but I never had the mindset of changing it into a positive or looking at the glass half full. It was either it was full and I was winning, or anything less, it was just empty. But I'm here to tell you and let you know you can change it. You can make adjustments. You can turn that negative into a positive. All right. So I want you to think about that and believe that you can make that change. Michael Jackson, make that change. All right. Listen, take that negative, change that perspective. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys are, kind of making the change that you need early. I know sometimes we don't always get it right like that, but I hope you guys are making the changes and pointing in the direction of the goal and where you're trying to go. All right. Listen, man, I need you guys to make sure you are telling everybody that you know about this great podcast. You see down below right there? I have all of my handles. Listen, we are out on all major platforms. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, it's the Giving a Purpose Podcast YouTube channel. Also on IG, you can follow us on IG. It's giving_a_purpose_podcast on there. Or if you want to follow me, follow the brand. I'm Mr. LA_2 on IG and Twitter. Now, the most important thing I need you guys to do every week, every day of your life, every second that you are allowed to breathe. I need you to live on purpose and live in purpose. All right. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.